Hi folks, I want to demonstrate for you how you can download your grades from Brightspace and then upload them into MyOswego, so you don't have to pick the letter grades of your students one at a time, which is something we used to do with Blackboard relatively easily, but it turns out there's an additional step. So you need to make a judgment on whether the steps I show you are worth the time savings that you'll have in entering your final grades into MyOswego. Generally speaking, it's advisable because it's hard to make mistakes with this system in this manner than picking grades one at a time, which sometimes we can easily make mistakes when we do them one at a time, as I said. So the steps I'm showing you on the screen really are the steps that I needed to take in order to do this. You can see I have a need for 3 separate files. The first one, and they're all spreadsheets, is my class list from MyOswego. As you know, class lists are usually the type of thing we download at the beginning of the semester and really don't typically need to look at them again, but our folks in CTS added the global ID to them, so that's why they are useful to me at this point. The Brightspace grades come in with a global ID. So if you sort those 2 files, you can imagine if you sort them together or both of them based on the global ID, then you should have all the entries in the same order for the same students. And you can double check because the expectation would be to bring the names in too, so you can be certain that they're in fact all the same students. But then what I could do is copy that Oswego ID into my gradebook, a spreadsheet that I had downloaded from Brightspace. That's extremely important for me because then I can bring my letter grades into the third file we need, which is the gradebook or grade template that you get from MyOswego. So if the information is sorted accurately in all of these contexts, it should be simple copy-paste situations and not require any elaborate matching process for the information that is in these different spreadsheets. And then that grade template that you get from MyOswego then simply gets uploaded back with the letter grades in it. And that process we've done multiple times before and works quite well. So these are my 3 spreadsheets. You can see I had to darken all the identifying information, which is pretty much all of them. But one of the columns in this file is the actual global ID. The one in the middle is my grade template that comes from MyOswego. Also, when you go in to enter your grades, one of the options you have is download this template, which you can then fill up with actual letter grades and bring them back up. And then the third one here is my gradebook data that I downloaded from Brightspace. So just very quickly, class lists, you just follow the process, download class lists, give it the right term, pick the course, and it downloads the .csv file that you could open in a spreadsheet form. Grade template is available to you here in the faculty grade entry. You have to pick the correct course and so on. I only teach 1 class, so mine was fairly easy to do, but you can export template. And that's the template I just showed you. And lastly, in my course, I can can visit grades and export grades. And for exporting grades, I'm only exporting the organizational defined ID and the first name, last name, and I'm only exporting my points. That's what I'm doing of all the stuff that I've graded for this course. So you do all that, and you can simply export to Excel. So the key here is to order the class list based on the global ID column, which is in the very end of it. So that one has to be done. Then the I think it's column I, and then order your grades that you downloaded based on the global ID also. And then once you do that, you can basically copy all the Oswego IDs into this particular file. What I did was, after I copied the IDs, I figured out letter grades for my students based on the percentages of achievement that they had. In my particular case, I had the calculated total and how much was it out of, and this is the number we got. And since I did this, at this point, not all the grades are actually established yet. So once you have accomplished that, meaning figured out what the grades are, you sort this guy, you sort the grade download spreadsheet based on the Oswego ID, and then it should logically match up with the order of the template that you downloaded from MyOswego. So simply put, I just grab these grades and place them in here. So, and then save that file. Now at this point, your grade template spreadsheet has the grades that you need. If you then return to MyOswego, you can import those grades. That's all there is to it.